When I bought my house, the previous owner gave me a list of rules. He didn't explain them, he just told me to follow them. At first, I thought they were a joke. Don't open the basement after sunset. Don't investigate footsteps when you're alone. Close your eyes if the lights flicker at exactly 3:11 a.m. Then, the rules started working. Nothing happened when I followed them, and something always did when I didn't. That's when I realized the list wasn't for safety. It was for containment. And the worst part, the rules keep changing. Today's story is entitled, I Bought a House That Came with a Set of Rules, and is posted to the r/NoSleep subreddit by Probably Really Dead. And it starts like this. When I bought the house, the previous owner handed me a piece of paper. He didn't explain it, he didn't smile, he just pressed it into my hand and said, read these, follow them. Then, he left. The house was cheap, suspiciously cheap. Big property, middle of nowhere, no visible damage. I thought I'd gotten lucky. The list had 12 rules. The first few sounded harmless. Never open the basement door after sunset. If you hear footsteps upstairs while you're alone, do not investigate. If the lights flicker at exactly 3:11 a.m., close your eyes and count to 30. I laughed. I pinned the paper to the fridge like a joke. The first night, nothing happened. The second night, I heard footsteps, heavy ones, directly above my bedroom. I froze. Rule number 2 echoed in my head, so I didn't move. The footsteps stopped after a few minutes. The third night, the lights flickered at exactly 3:11 a.m. I remembered the rule just in time, and I closed my eyes, counted, and when I opened them, the room felt empty again. That's when I stopped laughing. Over the next week, I learned the house had patterns. If I followed the rules, nothing happened. If I didn't, the house reminded me. One night, I forgot Rule 7. Never respond if you hear someone calling your name from inside the walls. I answered, just once. The walls groaned like they were breathing. Something scratched from inside. It stopped when I apologized out loud. I didn't sleep after that. The basement door started rattling at night. Always after sunset. I never opened it. I never even touched the handle. The rules, they weren't suggestions. They were containment procedures. One rule was crossed out. No explanation, just ink scribbled violently over the words. I realized, then the rules change. They adapt. The house learns. I found old notes hidden in drawers, previous owners, same handwriting as the rules. Some entries ended mid-sentence. Some were just apologies. The final rule was the worst. If you decide to leave, don't pack after dark. The house doesn't like abandonment. I tried to sell the place, but no one would buy it. The listings, they disappeared. The realtor stopped answering my calls. One night I broke a rule on purpose. I wanted to see what would happen. I wanted proof. The house shook. The walls screamed. Something ran down the hallway towards me fast and heavy. I locked myself in the bathroom and waited. In the morning, a new rule appeared on the fridge. Handwritten, fresh ink. Do not test us again. I still live here. I follow the rules. I added new ones when needed. Because I understand now. This house is not haunted. It's inhabited. And it doesn't let go of what belongs to it. The end. Well, that was a nice and short story. First off, I'd like to talk about what we could do different in this situation. I know that we don't have a perfect accounting of the information that if you were in this situation you would have, but just going off of what we do have, it kind of feels like to me as though the rules all kind of sum up to don't acknowledge anything. If you hear stuff, don't check it out. If the lights start flickering, just close your eyes. Stuff like that. I feel like if I had this list of rules and if I knew that it was going to be changing, I would try to sum it up so that it was more of a lifestyle as opposed to, oh no, I forgot rule number 7. Oh no, I forgot rule number 9. So that way it would be less intentional and more just kind of an adaptation. I think that's an easy one right off the bat. Try and learn the rules of the rules. Try and learn the framework, if you will. Number 2, it kind of seems like the house needs a viewer. Kind of like a Schrodinger's cat type of deal. It seems like if there's no one to interact with the house, then nothing will happen regardless. Because again, going back to those rules, it seems like if you just ignore all of the things that are weird, nothing happens. So if you were to just not live there, it wouldn't technically be haunted because nothing would happen. I think that's because the house would view the protagonist as somewhat of a variable. You know, furniture, things like that, they're not variables. They don't just move. They don't have will. They don't do what they want. The house can account for them. They can be tidied away, and that's that. It doesn't have to worry anymore. But a person, and especially when there's many different owners, who knows what the other owners have done? Who knows if there was an owner who tried to light the place on fire to get rid of it? Whatever else. The house seems to have a personality if it wants to keep on to the things that it has, if it doesn't want to lose that control. So again, just don't pack. Just walk away. And then visit every day and take 2 pairs of clothes on and leave, and then take a pair of clothes off, and then keep doing that, and you know, maybe take one item with you, and in a few months you'd be gone. And you wouldn't even be in the house for very long each day. Basically just to come in, take a shower, get dressed, and leave, right? So I think, is this story beatable? Yes. Is the point of it to be beatable? No. I think transitioning into the lesson of this story. I like to think about these while I'm reading the story. I don't like to have a script for this kind of end part of the video. I like to just do it right off the top of my head. And I think that's kind of the point I'm going for my channel, is trying to teach people to look for these things as they're ingesting content, so that they don't just kind of turn into a zombie when it's not time to be at work. But the lesson that really stood out to me was, we can't control everything in our lives, and if we try to, we only hurt those who we try to control. We can control the things that aren't variables. We can control our bed, we can control our food, we can control the things that we do, but we can't control other people. We can influence them, we can try and help them, but we can't control them. It just doesn't work that way. And so I think, if anything, if there is a great lesson to be learned from the story, it's don't try and control people. Love them, accept them for who they are, or find new people to be around. In the story, the house, it's clear going up to it that it has a specific set of rules, that it has a specific set of needs and things that you need to do to be around it. If you didn't like those things, you didn't have to accept the house. And of course, the protagonist thought it was a joke. I'm not saying I wouldn't think it was a joke if I got handed a list of rules when I moved into a house, but my point is, when we invite new people into our lives, when we try and make new friends, when we try and get into a relationship romantically with someone, each person has their list of things that they want and need. And we can take that list and think it's a joke. We can take that list and take it serious. We can take that list and take one good look at it and say, you know what? I think it's better that we are not in each other's lives. But it's your decision. And if you think that you have the power to change what is on someone else's list, that's where you end up becoming like the house or the monster in this story. So the lesson I would say to you is, evaluate. What do you need and want? What do the people around you need and want? And are you trying to influence those things for those other people? Are you trying to change their lists? And if you are, why? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you got the same lesson or if you had something else. Please, let me know if you want to see any types of stories for next week. I'm still looking for a topic. And if I can improve my videos in any way, just let me know. With all that being said, I'm Cece. This has been The Crucible of Character. I really hope you enjoyed today's story, and if you did, make sure to thumbs up and subscribe for more daily stories. and more daily lessons just like this. My goal is to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year. And just a few weeks ago, I was at 34 subscribers for a long time, and I didn't even think it was going to be possible to hit 100 by the end of the year. But at the current rate, I think I'm only a few days away. So please, if you made it this far, please subscribe. It means the world to me. It really does. I want to make something of this. I want to really give it my all, and I really appreciate each and every one of you that have been liking and supporting me all along the way. So with that, once again, I'm Cece. I love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow.